and welcome to Team Canaveral Student News. I'm Bree, and we are the Eagle Table. First up with world news. Monday, October 5th, 12 Pacific Rim countries struck a new trade deal. This deal has been under discussion for 5 years and just now has been writ up. 12 countries discussed labor rights and benefits. The 12 countries are Australia, United States, Vietnam, Canada, Japan, Mexico, Peru, Malaysia, Chile, Burundi, Singapore, and New Zealand. This deal would serve 40% of the global commerce, which is the improvement of the overall relations supply chain. The deal would allow workers to have the same benefits as the United States workers. There will be better working conditions for all the workers in other countries. Countries like Vietnam and Burundi will have to adopt labor rights that the United States has. Also, there will be no more forced child labor and no more discrimination against what job you can get. Many people will have better working conditions and will have to overcome the harsh laws. If all the parties follow through the rules, it could advance in labor rights in a fast-growing regions. Now on to Jessica with state or local news.
Thanks, Bree. This story is out of Carmel, Indiana. In Carmel, Fernando Yanez created this cafe. He created a Spanish cafe, a unique take on Spanish lessons currently centered towards adults. He hosted the grand opening of his new business at Saho Cafe in Carmel on September 25th. Once a week, they meet at different cafes around Hamilton County depending on which group the participant signed up for. So far, he has participated with cafes placed in Noblesville, Carmel, and Broad Ripple. He hopes to expand his business to reach Zionsville and Westfield as well. Yet there's no background knowledge of the language required, as he teaches 3 different levels, which is beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Given the idea from seeing similar cafes around Spain with the same concept, but teaching English to Spanish speakers. If the business continues to grow, he said he wants to begin implementing other languages as well, such as French and German. For residents who don't live in the cities where they are participating cafes, he said they can participate in the cities that do have the weekly lessons. Up next, we have Jenna with a story from the Science Tech world.
Thank you, Jessica. Have you ever been in a hurricane? Have you ever wondered what happens to the animals that are on the hurricane's trail? Hurricane Joaquin has struck the Bahamas and is scheduled to hit the northern part of the U.S. While humans get warnings from officials, animals rely on their own senses. For example, sharks can sense the barometric pressure change in the ocean and prepare for a storm. Animals who live on land, however, are not so lucky. They can easily drown. Animals who dwell in trees are a tad safer. They can bunker down and ride out the storm that comes. However, the storm can destroy natural food resources such as fruit. It will be hard times. The storm can also bring new creatures to the land. In 1995, 15 green iguanas were found floating towards the coast of the U.S. on a raft from a fallen tree. The storm can bring both good and bad things for the animals, mainly bad. So next time you wonder what happens to animals during a hurricane, well, now you know. Our last story today is from Isabella, and she has some good news for us.
Thank you, Jenna. Our good news story this week comes from the Bahamas. Miguel Fernandez from Florida was in the area when Hurricane Joaquin carved across the Bahamas. A Florida billionaire jumped into his helicopter and used his chopper to help officials scout storm damage, look for survivors, and deliver supplies to anybody who needed help. Miguel Fernandez flew into action, heading 150 miles across the Atlantic Ocean to airlift people to safety. Shortly after arriving, he found a group of tourists missing since the storm hit, and he and his crew carried them off a flooded island after seeing the path of destruction from Hurricane Joaquin, and carried the survivors out of the way of the destruction. That's all the news we have for you this week. Thanks for watching TCSN.